No one has asked me or the white community at large to condemn the white supremacist attack in Christchurch. I haven't seen any pundits or politicians asking where the moderate white people are. No one has asked what policy changes we need to stop white people from committing indiscriminate acts of violence. But after yet another attack spurred by white supremacist rhetoric, lies, and radical online communities, dozens of New Zealanders are dead in their place of worship, and dozens more are recovering from their wounds in the hospital. I'm not saying the white community should be forced to condemn Friday's events. No one should be forced to condemn anything they're not responsible for. Extremist violence is a problem in multiple religions and philosophies, but there's a definite double standard at play. Think about terrorist attacks linked to an extremist interpretation of Islam. When they happen, whatever the scale of the event, there's a call by politicians, by the press, by pundits, for the Muslim community at large to condemn those attacks. And when the general Muslim population is asked to condemn the acts of rogue extremists, it frames Islam as a violent religion. It puts the focus of hate on everyday Muslims. It leads mainstream politicians to insist Muslims are violent, and honestly, at its worst, it sets in motion the rhetoric that leads to attacks like the one in Christchurch. A far-right Australian politician put out a letter just hours after the attack where he referred to the attack as vigilantism, implying it was someone going after a crime. There was no crime, just people existing. He went on to blame the attack on Muslim immigration and said Muslims are, quote, killing people in the name of their faith on an industrial scale. That was just hours after dozens of Muslims were gunned down by a white supremacist. How does that make any sense? And it's not just about this public conversation. In 2018, every extremist murder committed here in the US was tied to the far right, according to the Anti-Defamation League. Attacks like the one in Christchurch are part of a pattern, one that's devastated communities from Charleston to Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, extremist rhetoric is finding an even more comfortable home in mainstream society. Literally, in the hours surrounding the attack, Sebastian Gorka, who has multiple national media platforms and used to work for the President of the United States, said this:
"Some civilizations are better than others, and ours, the Judeo-Christian civilization, is the best of all because it is based on human dignity, free will, and justice based on objective truth."
That kind of rhetoric is more prevalent in many countries, at least more than any other type of extremism. So no one should be asked or pressured or forced to denounce violence because of the color of their skin or where they worship. But you know what? I personally am actually comfortable condemning white supremacy. White supremacy comes from a place of fear of being replaced, and I don't have that fear. No one is saying you have to condemn white supremacy, but why not? I know you have nothing to do with violent extremism, but neither do the 1 billion Muslims constantly forced to answer for a few rogue extremists.